So where do I begin this video? I don't know how much time I have because I might have to go tend to my daughter. I still have to get ready to work. But I have a little bit of time, so I'll make the most of it. This video is both a love letter to my island of Puerto Rico and also a blog explaining how a Puerto Rican can feel away from his island. I'm going to start with this. I'm not going to be like every other person hating the United States of America. I actually like it here. The living standards are a lot higher. Finding a job is easier. Many people can be really kind and gentle and can be good friends. But every time I look back, every time I sit down and I contemplate things, there is something missing in the country of the United States of America. Back home in Puerto Rico, we are not the smartest. Sometimes we make the dumbest decisions ever. Sometimes we don't think too ahead. Sometimes we don't even motivate change or betterment. And when we do, we tend to burn things down to the ground. But is that fiery passion, is that love for our country, for our island, for our nation that motivates us to fight for it? When we come to the United States, we come out of necessity. Yes, we love the fact that we can vote for a president when we're here. Yes, we love the fact we can provide for our families here. But like many other Hispanic Americans or Latin Americans or Latinx, however you want to call them, it is not a choice that we want to make. It is a choice that is given to us because we both and we all know that living conditions in Latin American countries are not optimal. And that the chance to grow in this country is greater. When I came here, I came on two bases. Number one, for my religious beliefs. And number two, to provide for myself, help my family in Puerto Rico, and eventually come back a better man, more responsible, with a lot of knowledge that can actually help the island of Puerto Rico. One of those conditions has been met. I have been able to learn many different traits. I have been able to learn and grow as I get older, as I've been here 5 years in the state of Washington. One of those other conditions has barely been met. You see, the cost of living in Washington state is skyrocketing to the point that it looks a lot like how my island started to be back in the 90s. The cost of living in Puerto Rico back in the 90s was expensive, but you could afford it. You could work around it, you can survive, you can still have trips, you can go to the nearest town and visit, you could go to a restaurant or a fast food and not have to worry about money. And then the 2000s came, and then 2008 came, and then we went into bankruptcy. And then Puerto Rico has struggled with hurricane after hurricane and then earthquakes. So, in my mindset and in my feelings, I feel Washington State has offered everything I needed, everything I wanted. But now I'm craving home. You see, there's something about my island that the United States has never been able to replicate. Yes, I've been in New York, I've been in Florida, I've been in Portland, I've been in Seattle. I've been in all these major cities, Fort Lauderdale, even Panama City, Florida. But there's something that Puerto Rico has that the United States complains about, that I think helps us Puerto Ricans see how lucky we are to have a connection to you guys. And that is poverty. You see, what people criticize the big cities of the United States for, we see every day in every single town in all of the 78 municipalities in the whole island of Puerto Rico. And yet, it's that very same fact that reminds us that we have to work harder, that we have to push each other to grow, or we have to leave and make a life for ourselves. That is what I chose to do back in 2018. I was tired of my living conditions in Guanica, Puerto Rico. So I decided to move elsewhere. My first choice wasn't Washington State. It was actually New York City. I love New York. It has a lot of Puerto Ricans. It has that grandeur vibe to it. It has that beautiful, you can make it here, you can make it anywhere vibe. But yet when I went there, after a few days, a week, in the concrete jungle, I started missing the green of my island. I started missing the ocean, even though the Hudson River was right there. Even though Central Park was standing in the middle of the city. There was nothing that could compare to the hills and the valleys of my home island. Back in Puerto Rico, everything else felt bigger. You dreamt of getting off of the island. You dreamt of walking away from a place that saw you grow up, that saw you in Pampers and then saw you graduate from high school and go to college. We wanted to escape, not because we didn't love the island, but because many of us were forced to. And yet, many of my friends here at work or in the state of Washington probably will never understand. The heat coming up, the sweat that you get just from getting inside a car. You will feel like it's a sauna in there, but you will sweat and it will keep you a lot healthier because you lose weight because of sweat. The historical towns like San Germán and Old San Juan and many other places, the beautiful places that you can go and relax like Aguadilla, Arecibo, even Fajardo and many other places. The beautiful mountains in Coamo, Puerto Rico, and the bay in Guanica. All of those things I miss dearly. I miss the loud music, even though it used to piss me off. I miss cars putting their Latin music all the way up to the roof, and then they will wake you up if you were sleeping too early, or you will just dance or hate it. I miss the food, the white rice and the beans, and I miss the chicken, and I miss all of it that makes us Puerto Ricans. And yet, with every passing year, this feeling, this desire to come back doesn't go away. But the reality is, all my ties, all my bonds, all my friends are back in the island. I left before Hurricane Maria hit. I was not there when the earthquakes hit my hometown of Guanica, Puerto Rico. But on both occasions, I saw the aftermath. I saw the palm trees without any leaves in them. I saw houses crumble to the ground because of the earthquakes. I saw the cracks on my mother's home. And when I was there, I felt the earth shake. And yet, there's nothing that compares to the beautiful sounds and the beautiful views of my home, sweet home. As a photographer, I love Washington State. I love seeing the mountains. I love Mount St. Hilaire, Mount Rainier, Mount Adams. I love the Cascades. I love going all the way to Cle Elum to watch elks and deer cross around and walk around. But the same way I love and admire elks and deers walking around in nature here in Washington State, I miss my iguanas back home. How they will run around and run very fast, and how chickens will try to follow them and run away and make it work. It was a very funny chase. The chicken will try to poke the iguana's tail, and the iguana will shake his tail and try to scare off the chicken. And then the iguana will find a tree and climb up to it. It's that morning from the roosters, and the beautiful coqui sounds that will make a Puerto Rican's day. When I went back there in 2020, I wasn't able to show my wife the best life in Puerto Rico. The only thing I showed her was COVID-19 infested island. Everything closed. Everything locked down. But we did enjoy the beach for what it was. We were able to go out for a little bit, and we escaped the nightmare of the pandemic year. The reason we always root for a Puerto Rican is because we all come from the same dirt. We don't have a lot. We have to share a lot. When we do have something, we have to fight for it. We have to struggle for it. So many people here will never understand that. You may listen to what I'm saying. You may say, I came from the rough parts of the hood. No, you didn't. You didn't go to a nearby town fearing that you may get shot because you were selling pineapples. You don't fear the same fear we have. That if you do something to somebody, they're just a few minutes away. They can get rid of you because you're locked inside a tiny island. And yet, the island offers so much beauty and pleasure that you Americans love to stay there. You love visiting. You love the hammocks, and you love the green, and you love the palm trees, and you love going into the Caribbean Sea or the Atlantic Ocean and taking a dip in the water. I was born in it. I was raised in it. And for 5 years, I haven't seen the Caribbean Sea besides the year 2020 and the year 2018. I haven't seen the Atlantic Ocean since those 2 years. I haven't seen my family. Uncles died without me being able to see them. Because the cost of living here in Washington State is so freaking high that you can barely afford to take a trip of emergency and see those that you love. Now my daughter is born in a beautiful state and she can say she's a Washingtonian for life. But I want her to enjoy what I enjoyed. I want her to see her mom and how happy her mom gets when she's in the ocean. Her mom shines. Is the most beautiful woman in the world when she's inside the ocean. It's unbelievably beautiful how beautiful she is. For those of you that don't like see a man crying, you can leave. For those that understand what I'm going through, you can stay. Puerto Rico will always be my home. Washington State would always have a place in my heart as well. Puerto Rico is intense. You can get hugged in one moment and pointed the middle finger the next. But we all know that when something happens, a disaster, an earthquake, a hurricane, we stick together. We pass water to one another. We get oil for each other. We cook meals. We turn on candles to see ourselves in the night. And we get fans or pieces of paper to fan ourselves because of the heat. Or we put up a pool or we go to the ocean and we take a dip in it. That is what it is to be a Puerto Rican. And even though I'm better off here, even though my family is better off here, and I will probably stay here because of my family, I miss my childhood friends. I miss my people. I miss the warmth of my people. I'm sorry, you guys. You have nothing on my people. The only people that get close to the warmth of Puerto Ricans is my fellow Mexicans and Guatemalans here in the United States. When I came in, I'm glad I came in through a Mexican majority town called Mattawa, Washington. Because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have met my wife. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have changed my life. And that is the closest I'm going to get to being in Puerto Rico in this state. That raza that we call the race, the Hispanic race. And this is nothing against you guys. You guys are awesome. But you're lacking a lot of stuff. There's a foresight that you can only see when you live in an island. There's a slowness, a stillness that you don't see when you live in mainland USA. In here, everything is go, 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 go. Even when you slow down in the suburbs or in the center of the state where the rural area, you still go, 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 go. Islanders like me, we know how to slow down. But you don't like that. You like fast paced. Go, 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 go. When in reality, we know something better, and that is life, family, friends. Understanding that nothing will get done in many occasions, but at least you'll see your daughter smile at you, or you'll see them enjoying the water, or you'll feel the mountain breeze, or you'll feel the breeze of the ocean. That is what Puerto Rico offers. It's called island time. And I miss that. So, with that being said, this is my love letter to my island of Puerto Rico. I miss you so very much. And I hope one day I might come back. And if not, I'll do honor to the song called My Old San Juan, which says, my hair got white. Nostalgia made fun of me, and I was never able to return back home. Peace.